All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another live talk here on the social on the SoFlo Soccer channel. My name is Matt, your host as always, and we have a lot to talk about today. A lot of Inter Miami talk. We did a little bit of a kind of a chill, off schedule kind of stream yesterday, talking about Messi and just kind of having fun with that conversation. But today we're getting down to business. Okay, we have a lot to talk about today. That's just me testing my audio. We have a lot to talk about today, and we're going to be covering pretty much everything that's been going on from this last week. And so you strap in because this is probably going to be a lot of information. We might go a little longer than usual. We'll probably go for about an hour, but I probably won't go longer than that because I know you guys don't want to sit here for an hour. Um, we have Leonel Marco already in the chat. I appreciate you for being here. Thank you for being here early. But I'm gonna give it a minute for people to come in because I know there's gonna be a couple, just coming in. Slowly. They'll slowly start coming in. It's like when you're late for class, like in college, like you'll slowly start coming in. Like they'll just come in waves. Hello, Señor Gringo Argentino. Yeah, bro, that's what they always. That's what everybody calls me, Señor Gringo Argentino. I gotta start doing more Spanish. I gotta start talking Spanish more when I do these live streams. Because I feel like half of the people here speak Spanish. But but yeah, also by the way, I'm still sick from yesterday. Like I've literally been sick for the past 2 weeks, but I went to the doctor and I have like something jitis. It's nothing serious. I just have like my throat is just stuffy. So I sorry if I sound like a little sorry if I sound sick. I promise I'm not gonna like cough into the mic or something. But I'm gonna, the show must go on, right? Like we still gotta do these lives. We still gotta talk about Inter Miami. We have a lot to talk about today. Yo, what's up, AC? All right. So the first thing on the agenda, we have a couple of things on the agenda. We're gonna talk about this first, because I always like talking about the second team. We're gonna talk about this first because I found out something today, a couple of hours ago, that I didn't know was a thing until I saw this tweet. This tweet is from Franco Panizo. He does a lot of. You guys probably know him. He does a lot of. He does a lot of like news about Inter Miami. And let me show you guys this page. So he made this tweet a couple of hours ago. He says Gonzalo Higuain's first post-playing career role at Inter Miami ? Player development coach with Inter Miami too, which his brother Federico is the head coach of, which I think most of us knew. Given Gonzalo's preference to stay out of the spotlight, do not expect a big announcement. So as you can see here, this is from the page. So this is from Inter Miami's official page. Inter Miami 2, Federico Higuain is the head coach. If you go down here, Gonzalo Higuain, player development coach. So Gonzalo Higuain has, in writing, officially rejoined Inter Miami, and now is part of the second team as a player development coach. So he's a coach, which is awesome. The reason for him not wanting to be in the spotlight, zero clue. But it's cool to have Gonzalo Higuain back at the club as taking more of a coaching role, as a non-player role. I'm proud to be a Gringo Argentino. So, all right, yeah, we got to be proud of it, man. What's up? What's up, newcomer? That actually that line, that sentence, goes very well together. But yeah, no, I thought this would just be like a fun fact that we would kind of pull up. I mean, like Gonzalo Higuain, he was our top goal scorer for Inter Miami for a while. Ever since he's been here, he's been a good servant to the club, despite what other people think. I mean, like, um, he always brought a lot of passion to the team, and even though like he was always an amazing player past his prime, right? He was always an amazing player. I really liked him in his prime when he played for Juve, Napoli, Madrid. I liked him as a player. But anyways, he's joining the team. I mean, we have Federico talking about it in this interview right here, but we're not going to play it. I don't want to get sued. And but yeah, no, I thought that was really interesting. So it's kind of cool to see him back. A little bit more on Inter Miami 2. They did recently, earlier this week, they got a 2, no, not a 2. It was a 1-0 win, I'm pretty sure. If I could actually pull it up. Yeah, it was a 1-0 win against Atlanta 2. So I just wanted to give a huge shout out to them. I always said that I want to talk more Inter Miami CF2 on these streams. It was a goal from our own Carmichael. He has been given like a short-term loan contract for the first team, so it's good to see him scoring goals for the second team. Sesak, our right back and also captain, has got the assist for that game. Our third choice goalkeeper, Cole Jensen, started. We also have players like Alejandro Flores. We have Montenegro here. Even Barton is somebody. Tyler Hall was on the bench. He didn't see a minute this game. Owen Finnerty is on the bench as well. Santiago Morales, also he received some minutes. Don't know how many. Doesn't say, but he received some minutes and he got a yellow card. But yeah, no, shout out to Los Pibes, man. It's a good win, and that puts us, I believe, in fourth still. I like posted about it earlier on the community tab. That does leave us fourth in the Eastern Conference. Atlanta down in 13th with only, I believe, a couple of more games to go in the regular season. Yeah, only 2 games to go. So we're pretty high up there in the table for this regular season, which is good, which is great for the kid, man. I thought Gonzalo had been with Inter Miami 2 for a while now. No, so he's never been spotted. He's never been associated with them. I've been following Inter Miami 2 since about 2021. No, 2022-ish. Like, I've been following them for about, let's just say 2 years. I mean, I was with them all year last year. And I haven't seen, Gonzalo Higuain was nowhere in sight. So this is the first time that we're seeing Gonzalo Higuain come out of his shadow and be a part and take a non-player role with the club. So, which is very exciting. Matuidi, I don't I should probably I'm gonna ask my brother for pictures, but Matuidi is a coach, not for in Miami, but for a youth team that he started here in South Florida. My brother has reffed him multiple times, and apparently he's a really chill dude. So it's good that Gonzalo Higuain, I mean, he used his connection with Fede to join back, to rejoin Inter Miami as to taking a coaching role. And maybe we could probably see, like, I mean, taking lessons from Higuain, especially when your players like Carmichael and maybe Leo Afonso, whenever he comes back from injury, like our striking options could be really good. They could be receiving really good lessons from Gonzalo Higuain. So that's really good to hear. But no, shout out to Los Pibes about that. And that's the first part of the agenda done, I think, right? But that's the first part of the, well, I guess so. I also want to talk about something in regards to the first team, but including the second team players. We're approaching to the end of the season. I'm going to make a stream dedicated to this, but I just want to kind of touch it up briefly so we can start this discussion. So we can be prepared for it later down the line when the time comes. But we have a couple of players, right? We have a couple of players that have already signed for the first team. Players like, I have Santiago Morales, like I showed you. We have Alejandro Flores. We have Carmichael. We have Boatwright. We have like players like Leo Afonso, Cole Jensen, Owen Finnerty, Sunderland. You know, players like that who signed from the youth, from the second team to the first team. We haven't seen players like Santi or Boatwright or Flores because there just isn't room for them for the first team because we already are pretty occupied. And but whenever we do need them, we can see them in the first team. Now, the fact, and I'm bringing this up because the season's ending. We're going to be losing quite a few players, right? And like, so we're going to be losing players who are on loan. Players like Matias Rojas, players like Chelo. I think Jordi Alba's contract is expiring at the end of the year. So we're going to need to, if we're not going to be bringing anybody in, should we be giving some of these players a chance to spotlight for the first team? I would say maybe, man. Like I think players like Carmichael, players maybe like Santiago Morales, especially like players like Tyler Hall, who would play a good right back in replacement of Chelo, because our right back options for next season could be Ian Frey and Tyler Hall, a kid that plays in right back. I'm gonna show you guys this so you know exactly who I'm talking about. This is Tyler Hall right here. It says he naturally plays center back, but he could play right back as well. I've seen him play right back, and maybe this is somebody that we could see, play later down the line or play next season for Inter Miami if we don't bring back Chelo, kind of hope we don't, because if we bring back Chitto, then we're kind of screwed, because it's like, why would we do that? I don't know. But anyway, I think it'd be pretty. So I think keep an eye out for a future stream when we go over the entire roster. We're going to talk about Inter Miami 2 players, which players we could be seeing next year, who would be leaving, who's going to be returning, who are we going to be bringing new in. Just keep an eye out for a next stream regarding that, regarding all of that. But yeah, now that's the first part of the agenda. That's officially done, right? Second part of the agenda, I want to talk about Chris Henderson. There's been a lot of news, rumors, at least I would like hearsay about Chris Henderson, about how he will be leaving Inter Miami most likely next season, whether that's to Atlanta or LA. Like, there's been a couple of clubs, but it says that he'll be leaving Inter Miami next season. Chitto's going back to Boca. No, I mean, he's on loan, so you would think, but we have the option to buy him, and don't know if we're going to actually end up doing that. Hopefully not. I don't think we're going to be able to get him on a loan for another season. If we could, that would probably be best case scenario. But honestly, I really hope he just goes back to Boca, and then we can bring in somebody like a Tyler Hall or literally just anybody else. So let's talk about let's talk. Like I said, that's gonna be a whole episode dedicated to players leaving, players staying, new players coming in, squad, youth players. That's going to be an entire episode that we're going to focus on after the playoffs. I just wanted to bring that up to you guys so then we can be prepared to talk about it later down the line. So I'm glad. So we'll get excited about that later down the season, because right now we got to focus on this next week, where we have literally 3 games of we're literally going to 3 games in 1 week. We have Charlotte at home. Obviously, that we're going to be talking about in just a minute. And I'm pretty sure this is like the final stretch of games that we have. We have Charlotte at home. We have Columbus away. We have Toronto away. And then our last game is on the 19th at home against New England. So it's going to be a difficult away section portion. But at home against New England, it should be rather doable. But let's talk about Chris Henderson for 2 seconds. I just want to talk about it for 2 seconds, because there are rumors. There's nothing confirmed, but people are saying that it'll most likely happen, right? And it's being said that Chris Henderson will be leaving next season, which I think is a huge bummer, right? If this actually happens, this would be a huge loss for Inter Miami, right? Because if you guys don't know, Chris Henderson is literally the reason why we have the team that we have now. I mean, yes, we had some problems financially in the past in 2020, 2021, 2022, but Chris Henderson is the reason why we have players like Messi, like Suarez, like Busi, even with the youth players like Yannick Bryant and all of them. So it's like, it's going to be really, really tough for Inter Miami to be losing a player, a person like Chris Henderson. But that's also, I mean, like, that could be the reason why they also brought in Raul Sanelli. I think that's how you say his last name. Raul Sanelli, somebody who's worked with Barcelona before, who's done horrific business with them in the past, but is responsible for having connections with Neymar. Like, it's a whole thing, right? And we talked about it previously. It was a whole stream dedicated to that guy. But I fear that Raul Sanelli is going to be Chris Henderson's replacement. That's why they brought him in, and then Chris Henderson is just going to be leaving next year, which is very, very unfortunate. Ramos to Inter Miami rumors. I mean, like, there hasn't been any recent rumors about that, like, at all. I mean, I think the last time we heard rumors about that was last year, or even like over for this summer. I mean, there have been a lot of rumors of bringing in another DP or another international player, I should say, because and mainly a center back, because we've been looking for a center back, and whether that would have been an older European player past their prime, like a Sergio Ramos, or just like a younger, maybe a more in their prime from South America kind of player. So we haven't, there hasn't been any rumors on that just yet, but I am very, very, I don't want to say I'm sure, but because we do have center backs, they're just very, very injury prone. Will we bring in another center back for next year? Not sure. That's something that we're going to be talking about in a future stream when we talk about like when we do like a squad builder, a squad planner kind of stream. Tata is the MG and Chris Henderson is the number guy. The MG, what does that mean? The money guy? Tata is the money guy and Chris Henderson is the number guy. You should go for Griezmann. I mean, like it'd be amazing, right, if we could go for a player like Griezmann, but it is 1000% not going to happen because of the fact that Griezmann is going to go to LAFC. Like Griezmann is almost 1000% secure to go to LAFC because of Lloris and because of Giroud. And that's just how it and it is what it is, right? But it would be amazing. It would be awesome. The GM Tata is the GM and so you Tata is the GM, Chris Henderson. Yeah, no. Tata not the GM. The general manager or no. No. He's our manager, he's our head coach, not our general manager. But no, I mean, it would be sad to kind of bring him. He's responsible for everybody that we have now, and even before the Barca boys showed up. And I mean, like, I don't know how. I mean, like, I'm hoping even with this new guy with Raul Sanelli, our financial situation would essentially just be better because Sanelli has experience with bigger clubs, with big money, clubs with big money, big connections, big profits, even big losses. And so bringing somebody with that kind of experience could be helpful, but his reputation doesn't show that at all. Excuse me. That's the only one bringing the young players in from South America. Well, that's also Chris Henderson as well. I mean, like Chris Henderson is and helps with that. Tata Martino, because of his Argentinian background, he can attract. Well, he can scout and he can have those connections with the South American players. But I mean, those South American players are also coming because of Messi, because they're just using Messi as like a marketing tactic. But no, like Chris Henderson is part of that, because not just for the scouting, but he's responsible of bringing these players in terms of like the financial aspect. Like you said, he's the numbers guy, he's the money guy. So yeah, you can scout as many players as you want. But if you can't, but with the complicated as rules that the MLS have with squad registration and like with salary caps and with TAM and GAM and with international slots and with U22 initiative slots, with with the DPs and all that, like if you didn't have an expert at it, somebody who knows what they're doing and knows what they're talking about and knows how to kind of manage the money and where to put the money or where to put players and to know how much money like to give certain players, like if you didn't have that, like the club would completely fall apart because we literally have Messi, Suarez, Busi, and Jordi Alba on our payroll, and we're running fine. Apparently, at least that's what it looks like. We're running absolutely fine, and then we have players like Redondo, like Cremachi, like no, let me think of like international players. We have like Aviles. We have Yannick Bright, who's an international player. Facundo Farias. We have Freire, Diego Gomez, David Martinez, Redondo, Matias Roja, Luis Suarez, Ustadi, and Chelo Wingant. Those are our international players. We have all of those guys, and we're still running smoothly. We need Arturo Vidal from Colo Colo. That's kind of crazy. Arturo Vidal from Colo Colo is actually insane. How old is Vidal, bro? I know didn't he go on stream recently with Dave, I forget his name, that Argentinian streamer. He is 37 years old. That's kind of crazy. I thought he was a lot older than that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, yeah, sure. That's something that's a pretty real possibility. There are good free agents on the market, not big names, but very good for MLS, better than current players. And yeah, no, 100%. I mean, like, there's always gonna be good free agents. That's something, like I said, we're gonna evaluate that after the postseason. Something that like we're gonna talk about players who we can bring in, players that we should bring in, players that should leave, players that should stay. We're gonna talk about all of that in a future stream, but that's gonna be after the postseason. Because then we'll know. Because right now we're just gonna be talking about the games, and we'll talk about we're gonna have to talk. We're gonna have to focus on playoffs and winning MLS Cup. But speaking of that, let's get into that. Honestly, let's get into that now. What is a gnocchi bastante caro? Is kind of crazy. That's a interesting phrase, a very interesting phrase. But let's get into the preview. We'll get into all of that after, like I said, after the postseason, because those are important topics to talk about. But we need to dedicate an entire stream to that. But for right now, let's focus ahead with our game against Charlotte. So as you guys know, we are still in first place. We're going to return home at Chase Stadium here in Fort Lauderdale as we host Charlotte FC. And we did get in this last week, we had, 5 points, 5 points in 3 games, which isn't really the best. We just tied against NYCFC. The curse continues 1-1. Not really the best result we wanted, but in the circumstances that we were in, I think maybe like we can't be too upset. We're still in first place. We're still gonna win, or on track of winning Supporter Shield. We're also on track to breaking the points record in MLS history. So that all of that is still very, very important. And so it's very so we're going into this game at home in good spirits. So we're gonna be, excuse me, like I said, I'm sick, so I apologize if I cough, burp. My throat really, really hurts right now. But we'll be hosting Charlotte, currently sitting first in the supporter standings with 64 points, and leading the league in goals with a total of 67 goals, more than 5 more than the second place team. Striker here, let me show you guys this. Striker Luis Suarez leads the team with 17 and is tied for second amongst the league's top goal scorer this season. Captain Lionel Messi, meanwhile, leads the team in assists with 15, tied for third place amongst the top assist providers in the MLS campaign. Previously against Charlotte, Inter Miami will face Charlotte for the 7th time in club history, with the team registering 3 wins, 2 losses, and a draw in the previous encounters. Last time we played against Charlotte, we did win 2-1, and that was because of almost a last-minute winner, thanks to Ben Kakamashi, assisted by Gressel, which was awesome. And that was at home, I'm pretty sure. So that's something that I'm expected for this game. For this game, I'm expecting to win. I'm expecting for us to bounce back from 2 back-to-back draws against Atlanta and NYCFC. We're back on our home field. We have some players returning from injury and from suspension. We have, of course, Sergio Busquets returning from suspension after being suspended from getting too many yellow cards. We're also getting back Diego Gomez and Matias Rojas. They have been back in training. They've been spotted in training, so they will be available for selection. Whether they will play or not is still to be determined, but they are fit and they are available. Which is awesome news to hear, right? So that gives us a lot more depth. That gives us a lot more wiggle room to kind of play with, especially if Diego Gomez is able to start. If he can start and we can play him on that left-hand side, I think we would be absolutely golden. But Charlotte are coming off a 4-0 win. I believe it's against the New England Revolution. New England Revolution, I'm pretty sure they're the worst team in the Eastern Conference. Yes, they are. I just want to double check that. But yes, New England Revolution are the worst team in the Eastern Conference, down in 15th with a total of 28 points, just not winning any of their last 5 games. And Charlotte, as I said before, they are in 6th, getting their first win in a while against literally the worst team. So that should put us in a good spot, right? Because Charlotte have been in pretty poor form as of late. And going up against an Inter Miami team who have been in form, despite drawing these last 2 games, this is looking really, really good for us. The craziest thing, though, about Charlotte is that they are the best defensive team, I want to say, in the league, but they're definitely the best defensive team in the Eastern Conference. In the league. They are the best. I think they're the best defensive. No, they're the second. They're tied second in the league. The best defensive team in the league is Columbus with 31 goals conceded, right here. As you could see, 31 goals conceded by Columbus. Charlotte are right here with 33 goals conceded, and then tied with them is Houston with 33 goals conceded. So they're one of the best defensive teams in the league. That's going to be tough for us, man. I mean, that's going to be huge. Like that's really worrying for us. As a team that has not struggled to score goals, but in these last two games, we've really struggled offensively. So going into a team where they've strived defensively could be really could really hurt us. However, offensively, I think Charlotte are one of the worst in the league. So that's good news for us. Even though they put 4 past New England, if you take those 4 goals away, I think they've only scored 32 goals, which is literally one of the worst offensive records in the league. So that's good for us because defensively we're not the strongest, and if we could strive off of our offensive weapons and not rely so much of our defensive walls, then I think we should be in pretty good shape, bro. Some of the fake fans are blaming Messi for not winning in the last 2 matches, and that's why they're fake fans, right? Because they don't know, they don't watch the game. They just assume that Messi's on the team and we're just going to win every single goal, and then Messi's going to score every single goal and make every single assist, right? And that's just simply not the case. Messi, first of all, he came off the bench against Atlanta. He played I think he played the entirety 90 minutes against NYCFC. But like, you also have to understand that Messi, I'm not trying to make any excuses for Messi, but Messi just came back from not playing football for 3 months. And on his debut, he scored 2 goals and got an assist. Now that he hasn't won us a game in the last 2 games, like, now it's all of a sudden his fault. It's absolute BS. And I think everybody in this chat knows that. So I appreciate you bringing that up, though, Ace Leonel, because, like, obviously they're fake fans and they don't know what they're talking about. Columbus played 1 match less. Yeah, Columbus did play 1 match less. If Columbus win their next game, they take second place in the standings. Oh shit! Excuse me. There we go. If they take second place, if they win their next game, they'll take second place in the Eastern standings. In the Supporter Shield, we're still kind of chilling. In order for us to secure Supporter Shield, like to mathematically secure Supporter Shield, we need to win our next 2 games. If we win our next 2 games, we'll get 70 points, which will 100% secure Supporter Shield. Now, obviously, if you want to break the record, we need to win 3 games to get 73 points, because the record is 72. We need 73. So hopefully we can do that. The Guaranis are back. What the hell is that? What's the Guaranis? I have no idea what that means. I'm going to be honest with you. but anyway, so yeah, so we have a lot of our players coming back, or we have a couple of players. Oh, Noah Allen, it won't be available because of yellow card accumulation. So we are going to be missing Noah Allen, unfortunately. In my opinion, in my personal opinion, I thought he did pretty well against NYCFC, and I feel like he's always done pretty well. Either off the bench or playing as like that wide left center back. I thought he's always done pretty good in those instances. But let me show you the availability. We haven't gotten an availability report for this upcoming. Like the last one was from last week, and so I don't think that counts. But this is the report according to FootMob. Noah Allen is suspended. Dos Santos has returned to injury, so you can kind of ignore this. And it's like Diego Gomez, Dos Santos, and Matias Rojas, you can ignore because they have returned to injury, and so they are available for selection. Whether they will play or not is still to be determined. However, Facundo Farias is still out. We obviously have Martinez still out. Leo Afonso. We haven't gotten word from Leo Afonso just yet. And of course, Freire is out for the rest of the season. So, which is very, very unfortunate, but that is what it is. So what does that mean? That means we're looking a lot healthier. So when we look healthier, that means we're going to play better. That means we have more options off the bench. And it gives us more, it just gives us more wiggle room. Like I said before, like we can play our full starting 11 without any problems. And not only can we just play with our full starting 11, but we're going to have players available off the bench. And whether that is Matias Rojas, whether that is Benja Carmashi, David Ruiz, Redondo, we're going to have these players available to us. Um, the only issue is our defense, essentially. I mean, like we still have Kritsov, we still have Ryan Saylor. I mean, like, and we still have like Negri. I mean, and things like that. But hey, it still hurts, or it's still something, right? Like we still have. I mean, like we have El Toto Aviles still available, and we'll get to our predictions in just a minute, right? For our predicted starting 11. But having these guys like available is really like this is probably the most fit that we've ever been, like if not in the entire season, for actual months. Like this is literally the most fit of an Inter Miami team that we've seen. The only players that are really out are the players that we've known have been out, which is Facundo Farias, Freire, and Martinez. Those are the three, and then am I missing one? And then Leo Afonso. Those are the three players. Those are the three or the four guys that are out, but that we knew they were already out, and they're pretty much guaranteed out for the rest of the season. So points record is 73. Oh, is it 73? I thought it was 72. All right, that's on me. 3 wins and 1 draw. Got you. Okay, so that's my bad. I thought the points record was 72. I really MLS points record. Oh, it is 73. Swear I thought it was 72. My bad. So yeah, we need 73 points to tie that record. We need 74 to overcome it, to make history. Redondo is not suspended. Not that I know of. Why would Redondo be suspended? Because of yellow cards? I'm pretty sure he's not suspended from. I don't think he's suspended. He's not supposed to be suspended. No, Redondo's definitely not suspended. Not from what I know. Is Busquets? Is he okay? Busquets is totally fine. He hasn't suffered any injuries or anything. The only reason why he wasn't seen for these last 2 games was 1, because he was suspended for the Atlanta game. 2, for NYCFC, he got married, I'm pretty sure. Or he had some sort of ceremony, and he posted it on Instagram. I posted it here on YouTube as well. I could try to pull that up for you guys. But no, he's totally fine. You don't have to worry about him. Busquets will be available for selection for this next game against Charlotte. Let me see if I can pull this up for you guys. Yeah, this is the post. This is the post that I made on under the community tab. Here, let me show you guys this. I mean, like the quality's not the best, right? Because I literally just snatched it from his Instagram, but that's Busquets. I'm assuming that's with his wife in Miami somewhere. Probably in like Wynwood. So yeah, and that's why he didn't travel with the team to NYCFC. Anyway, let me close that out. But anyway, news on Martinez. Martinez. Yeah, so Martinez, Martinez is a tough one, right? Because he is probably going to be out until the playoffs, like late into the playoffs. I mean, he hasn't been spotted in training yet. So he's probably not going to be available until either late October, which kind of sucks, right? Because at that point, it's like that's a really crucial part of our campaign, because like we're probably going to be at least a round or 2 into the playoffs, and he's probably not going to be fit. So I'm hoping that he can gain his fitness pretty soon, so that we can see him. I mean, like at the same time, like we don't want to rush him, right? Like we don't want to rush him onto the field, because that will just hinder him even more. But his expected return is around October, but I'm assuming either late October or early September, or early November. Excuse me, not September. Bushi is about to be up. Oh, is he really? That's amazing, man. Yeah, because I saw something on his. I saw him like kissing his wife, so I'm like, oh, okay. Are they getting married, or are they going on a honeymoon? Is this a date? What is this? Do you have a prediction lineup for tomorrow? We're about to get into that right now. Do you guys have any thoughts before we get into predictions for the starting lineup? Because honestly, we have a lot of players to choose from, so we gotta be prepared. You have a lot to choose from. I'll give you guys a minute for that, and then while I'll go through obviously my predicted starting 11. So, my predicted starting 11, obviously with Drake Callender in net, but with I think what we have to do is I might sound crazy. Actually, no, I'm not gonna say it. No, I'm not gonna say it. But okay, I'm just gonna go from defense to offense, right? So Drake Callender in goal. I think Jordi Alba. I think Aviles should start because he has to. And I think Frey should start. With Chelo at the right back position. So Aviles, Frey, Chelo with Jordi Alba at the left back. In the midfield, I would want Benja. I would want Bright. And honestly, I'm not opposed of putting Ruiz in that center mid spot. I don't want Redondo starting. And I don't know how you guys feel about that. I don't want Redondo starting. But I'd rather have Gressel in the midfield than Redondo, man. And that's just me being completely honest. I don't know if that's just me being stupid, but I genuinely would rather see Gressel in the midfield than Redondo. I don't want to see Redondo in the midfield. I don't think he's he didn't do bad last time, but I think I don't know. I don't know, man. I just don't want to see him in the midfield. At least maybe he can come off the bench. So either Ruiz in that midfield, or you could put Matias Rojas in that midfield. You can put Gressel in the midfield. You could play any of those three. I don't want Gressel. For the front three, I want Gomez, Suarez, and Messi, and I think that's our best front three that we have in this team, honestly. Gomez, Luis Suarez, Lionel Messi, the front three in that order. Let me get to your guys' comments right here. So, Alba, Aviles, Busi, Frey. No, hold on. Alba, Aviles, Busi, Frey, Chelo. Okay, so you want to do like a three back with the five midfielders, or with the two wingers going up as the two wide players, with Alba, Chelo as like the wide midfielders, with Gomez and Redondo as the two center mids, with Rojas, Suarez, and Messi. Interesting. Okay, Gomez as a center mid, honestly, is not bad. So I like Gomez playing on just that left hand side in general. I think him paired with Jordi Alba is a good combination, and I think they link well together. Honestly, is that something that we've seen before? I'm trying to think. I don't think we've seen Alba, Gomez, Rojas all play on the same line ever before. I feel like we've just never seen that, but that would be interesting to see. No Redondo, he's bad. Please no Benja start. He gets gassed too soon. He's great off the bench. I do like him off the bench. Now you mentioned that, Elmer. I do like Benja off the bench. And last time against Charlotte, he did score off the bench. I'm pretty sure he came off the bench. So maybe you have a point in not playing Benja and instead playing somebody else. You might have a point. Did you read that article of Messi that he will undergo surgery for his hamstring after the season? Who said that? What article is that? There's no way, man. There's no way he has to do surgery for his hamstring. There's no possible way. I have not seen that. If you have a link to it, or if you have a picture, DM it to me on Twitter, or you could put it in the chat. I'm very interested to see what this article's about. Redondo needs to step up more. Yeah, I don't know. I just haven't been the biggest Redondo fan. I had high expectations for him, and honestly, he didn't really meet them. I think that we just need a little bit more from him, to be honest. I think there just needs to be more offensively, more defensively. I think he turns the ball over a little bit too much. I think having Bright as our CDM, it will be crucial to to our defense. Honestly, playing Boosie at the back line would be, I honestly, if you put Boosie and Bright as the double pivot, like just let it be, and then you could put Aviles, Frey, and Cello as the back in the back line, like Alba, Aviles, Frey, Cello. Honestly, that's in my opinion. And then if anything, you can put, and then if anything, Bright can just hold that midfield with Boosie. Then you could probably put Gomez could probably drop into the midfield as well on defense when we play defensively in a defensive shape. We'll have Messi, we'll have Suarez and Messi play as a two up top. The four midfields defensively would be probably Gomez, Boosie, Bright, maybe Gressel, either Gressel or Rojas. I have to call. Sorry, guys. I think like we should take full advantage of the fact that we have a full healthy 11, that we have so many players returning from injury. Like, well, I say so many, right? But it's literally Gomez, Dos Santos, and Matias. The fact that we have these players coming back, we got to take advantage of the fact that like we could play a full starting 11. Also, but we can't get too ahead of ourselves because the playoffs are around the corner. So we need to make sure that we don't suffer any crazy injuries between now and next month. Because if somebody picks up an injury now, they're going to be out for the season, and that's going to suck. That's going to really, really hurt us. I would love to get your guys' thoughts on what players you would rather see play over others. I know we already talked about Benja, the fact that he gets gassed too soon. I mean, like, Benja gets gassed because he plays with passion and heart, bro. That man is up and down the field. He essentially is what Redondo should be. He is an absolute engine, running up and down the field and covering a lot of ground. And I like that about Benja because he is committed. Yes, he gets gassed, and so you would like to see, somebody off the bench that could continue on that effort. So maybe Benja could just be that guy. Maybe we can start with Redondo. Maybe we could just only play with Bright and Boosie. I don't know, honestly. Because in my personal opinion, if Noah Allen was suspended, I would love to see the Noah Allen, Aviles, Frey back three again. With Jordi Alba and maybe Gressel or Rojas on the right. And the two center mids would be Boosie and Bright. And then it would be Gomez, Suarez, Messi. That would be my ideal. But Noah Allen is not. We don't have Noah Allen. And I don't know who would probably take that other center back. Like, I'm trying to think of like a center back who would be quick outside of Frey and Aviles. And I can't think of anybody. Unless you put in Ryan Saylor. But I highly doubt that Tata Martino would start Ryan Saylor. But that's just me. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I'll give you guys a minute for that. And then if you guys don't have anything else, then we'll just go straight into predictions for the game tomorrow. Depending on how everything goes tomorrow, I think like as of right now, I should be able to do a post-game reaction after the game. So because Saturdays are always the busiest days for me with work. So as of right now, tomorrow there should be post-game reaction because the game isn't until 7:30 like it always is. So I should be fine because then we won't be going live until like about 10, 9:30, 9:45 ish. So we should be fine. I should have seen the game, and we'll go live with a post game reaction for that. But for my prediction for tomorrow, I would say we're back at home. We're doing 3 games back to back to back again. So we have Saturday, we play Charlotte, then away. I think it's Columbus we're playing next, and then we have that's on Wednesday. So we're going from from tomorrow Saturday to Wednesday against Columbus away, and then Saturday we travel to Toronto to play Toronto on next Saturday the 5th. And then we have like a break. We have like a 2-week break, and then we play New England. So yeah, but for my here, look, before we get into my predictions, we're gonna see what Elmer has to say. Gomez, Bright, and Frey are great disrupting the forward progression of the opposing offense. Really helps to stop the rival rhythm in the midfield in our own half. And you bring up a good point, because you're right, and that's why I really need Gomez and Bright and Frey to play. We need them to play. And it all starts in the midfield too. If we need to win the midfield battle, we need more midfield control. That's something that we really struggled against when we played NYCFC. We completely lost the midfield battle, and I think the same thing happened with Atlanta. As long as we can control our own midfield on our own home turf, we should have a great advantage. And this is a Charlotte side who want to be competitive, who are coming off of a 4-0 win. They're going to have that motivation to beat a team like Inter Miami, like every team will. But as a team, it's always the worst offensive teams in the league that will put goals behind you. It's always going to be that way. So hopefully that we can have those players who can stop that forward progression, like you said, and also have fast enough players to quickly or to quickly switch defensively, because our defensive transitioning has always been subpar, is like the best way to put it. We've always been very slow, very sluggish, and that leads to a lot of counterattacks, especially when you have somebody like Aviles at the back line. So hopefully Aviles has learned by now that he can't be playing such a high line, and that he has to quickly recover and always be in position. But I think with players like Ian Frey, and even when you have even with Boosie and Bright in the midfield, and if you put Gomez in the midfield as well, maybe that could help. But with that being said, I think we're going to score a lot. I mean, like, this is one of the worst defensive teams in the league in terms of, this is one of the better defensive teams in the league. Excuse me. And so but I still think we're going to at least put 2 goals by them. In terms of conceding, they're one of the worst offensive teams, so we should be able to shut them down. Don't think we're going to be able to keep a clean sheet. I think we're going to at least concede once. With that being said, I think that Inter Miami should be walking away with a win, but I think it's going to be a 2-1 win. Excuse me. Hopefully we can be a little bit more comfortable than what I predict, but I feel like this is 100% a trap game. We've seen this before, where we're supposed to win a game, or we're like huge favorites going into it, and then it ends up being either a really close game and we lose points, or it's a really close game and like we really got away with 3 points. So I'm really hoping for a win. I'm gonna predict that it's a 2-1 win, but I'm really hoping that it's going to be a lot of a better score line than what I'm predicting. We have Hole saying that 4-2 for Miami. I like that prediction. I mean, I like that a lot better than my prediction. If you guys have any other predictions in the chat, feel free to put them in now before we end the stream. But yeah, I think a win is guaranteed. This is a must-win game for Inter Miami, especially after dropping those two games away from home. But honestly, I mean, like, I'd rather tie than lose, so I'm not really too frustrated with those with those two stalemates, right? But hopefully we can get the job done against Charlotte. Leonard Monaco says it's going to be an Inter win. So yeah, we'll see what happens, man. I'm saying 2-1. We have Hull saying 4-2. And just summarizing, we think that Inter Miami is going to win. And let's hope so. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in until the end. Elmer is saying a 3-2 win for Miami. We score in the second half after the 65th minute. Yeah, I like those chances. I mean, like, it's cutting it close, but I like those chances. I mean, like, a win is a win, guys. We have Joe Racco saying there's no excuse for this game. It's a home game. They will have to win. You 100% said it, man. So at least we're all assuming a win. We're all predicting a win. We're all hoping for the win. And let's hope that we can do that back at home, regardless of the fact that we have this 3-game stretch back to back to back. So hopefully we get the win. Hopefully we get no injuries, and hopefully everybody can go home safe. But thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Herons podcast here on the SoFlo Soccer channel. My name is Matt, your host as always. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the post-game reaction. Inter Miami versus Charlotte. We have 3 games remaining after tomorrow night, so the playoffs are coming. The Supporter Shield race is still in our favor. And yeah, man, let's just keep pushing for playoffs, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow night for the post-game reaction around 9:45, 10 o'clock ish. So I'll see you guys then. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe out there. And yeah, man, vamos Miami.